Hello everybody, welcome to a new RPG example video. Today I'd like to show you an example of how to use pointers. So let's go. As always, I'm using VS Code and Code for IBMI extension. For showing you how to use pointers, I was thinking about how to show you an example that could be used. So the first thing I thought was a dynamic memory array. And that is what I have done. Let me show you a simple program that I have made using pointers. As always, this is an example, and of course it can be done in so many different ways, and of course better. Well, let's open the program. Here it is. Well, as all many times, this program is a non-cycled program, okay? I have declared two templates. If you remember, a template is just like an own defined type, and this can be a simple type as this, or a data structure like this. The dynamic array type will store a pointer to a node, and inside a node, I will have the data stored that can be of any time. In this case, I have used a varchar field, but you can, for example, use a data structure. And also, the node will have a pointer to the next node of the dynamic array. Okay, in the main procedure, the first thing I have to do is to initialize the dynamic array. After that, I'm adding 10 nodes to the array that you see, as simple as this. And after that, I'm retrieving some nodes and writing the content of them into the job log. At the end, I'm calling again to initialize the array, to remove it from the memory. Okay, let me show you now the subprocedures. First, I will show you the addNode subprocedure. Let's open it. Okay. Well, basically, as you see, what I do is allocating memory of the size of the node, and adding the information to the node. And if the array is empty, then the first node will be the one I have just created. If not, I need to locate the last position of the array to put it. And that is what I do with this loop. For that, I'm using a different node, this one, that is based into a pointer. This way, I'm moving forward using the pointer next field until the pointer next field is null. That is the position where I have to add my new node. Okay. Let me now show you the retrieveNode subprocedure. Let's close this and let's open this. In this case, it's basically the same. I'm using again a different node, this one, to move into the dynamic array to locate the position I need. It's so simple. And when I find it, I'm returning the information, the content of the node. Okay, and now let me show you the initializeArray subprocedure. Let me close this. Let me close this, and let's see this one. Okay, again, here I'm using a different two nodes, in this case, to move into the dynamic array and deallocate the memory. Remember always to deallocate the memory allocated. This is a good practice. Now let's compile the program and let's test it in a green screen. Let's create it. Okay, this compiled, and let's go to the green screen. Well, in this case, before starting debugging, I'm going to change the debugger to show it in wide screen. Okay, to do that, I have this program made that is adding this environment variable that will allow the widescreen into the debugger. Okay, so let me call to this program. Oops. Okay, and now let's start debugging the program. Okay, as you see, the debugger is seen in wide screen. Okay, so let's start calling to the program. Okay, now I'm in the main procedure. The first thing I'm doing is initializing the array. Okay, so let's go into the subprocedure. As the array is null, I'm returning because I don't need to initialize it. Okay, now I'm going to add 10 new nodes to the array. So let me do it. The first thing I'm doing is creating the node in dynamic memory. I'm allocating memory. Okay, so this node, this pointer to this node is a dynamic memory address. And now node has this information. The next is null. Okay, but as the array is also null, what I'm going to do is to put the node that I have just created into the first position. So the array contains the first node. Okay, so let's go again into for the second node. Okay, again I'm allocating memory. I'm adding the information into the node. Okay, and now the array is not null. Okay, what I'm doing now. Okay, I need to find the position to add the new node. So I'm using this different node to move into the dynamic array. Okay, so I'm using this auxiliary pointer to do it. So now array has this address, and node aux also has this memory address. Okay, so as the next, if the node aux next is null, I'm adding to this position the pointer to the node I have created. Okay, so in this case, node has this information, and node aux is the first position, and this position and this pointer was null, and now it is pointing to this node. Okay, so the first node has this information, and this pointer is pointing to this information. Okay, and this information has this as the next position that is null, so the array ends there. Okay, okay, let's add a new one. Allocating memory, putting the information into node. Okay, and let's allocate the position. As the pointer next field is not null, I'm going to move one position. Okay, and now I can put the new node into the pointer next field. Okay, and I do the same 10 times. So let's go to retrieveNode subprocedure. The first thing I'm going to do is retrieving the position number 8. So let's see how it works. To do that, I'm using a different node to move into the dynamic array again. So I'm using this field, and I'm moving into the array using the ptrnext field this number of times. Okay, so I'm doing this, in this case, 9 times. Let's go ahead. Okay, as seed is the same as number, I'm returning node aux text. And what is node aux? Is the element number 8. Okay, and if you see the ptrnext field has an address that is not null because it is pointing to the test9 node. Okay, but in this case I'm returning the information that is inside the node number 8. Okay, in this case I'm doing the same. In this case I'm doing the same, and let me show you the job log. As you see, I have retrieved test 8, test 2, and test 9. Okay, and before ending the program, I'm going to remove the array from memory. Okay, so I'm calling to initializeArray again, and in this case, I'm using 2 nodes to deallocate the memory. So in this case, array is not null. So as the node aux ptrnext is not null, I'm using these 2 nodes to move and to deallocate the memory. Okay, and this will be done 10 times because I have an array of 10 positions allocated. Okay, so if I stop it here, okay, I have found this element and I'm deallocating it. It is found, memory deallocated, and return. So if I see my log, well, let me call it again to see it better. As you see, the program is allocating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 positions. Okay, then I'm retrieving these 3 positions, and after that I'm deallocating all the 10 positions. So the program is working fine. Well, what I'm going to do now is to upload this program to my GitHub account to share it with you. And well, tell me what do you think about it. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to give a like to this video, to subscribe, and well, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.